me say this one more time, will you? I just feel deep down this whole Nikki Smith thing is a hoax. I can't explain it. It doesn't have any reason or rhyme to it. But I mean, the fact that it's continued even after Marco Dane's death.
I appreciate what you're saying, Paul. I just pray you're right. I'll hear from you, okay? Good.
Keep making my love, okay?
Hi.
Hi, sweetheart.
How long have you been home?
About half an hour.
Oh. Well, I tell you, I've been running around like a mad thing all afternoon, and I haven't even given dinner a thought. So, I hope you will settle for leftovers, because that's all we've got. I'll get it started.
That's fine. Viki?
What?
Sweetheart, before dinner, what do you say we sit down and have a little chat, okay?
What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. What kind of day you had?
Well, I had a very busy day. I went to Paul Martin's office, and I stopped by to see Pat for a while because it's the anniversary of Brian's death, and I thought maybe she could use some company. And then I went to see Karen just for a minute, and now I'm here. How was your day?
Not bad. Well, you know, you work at a job for a while, you get to roll with the punches. Listen, sweetheart. Tell me something. Is it really necessary for you to run around so much? I mean, you think it's wise?
Yes, I do. I think it is the best thing in the world for me to do as many routine things as possible.
There are a lot of calloused people out there. I just don't want you harassed.
Joe, there are not enough reporters in this country to follow me around 24 hours a day. Now, I know you are concerned about me because you love me, but what am I supposed to do? I refuse to lock myself in this house until the trial starts.
Nobody's suggesting you do that.
All right, then. I am not under house arrest, all right?
Come on, honey. What's wrong, huh?
Paul Martin is a very kind man, and I think that he believes in me. But his assistant is quite another matter, Mr. Bob Faulkner. Maybe I'm being paranoid, I don't know. But the way he kept staring at me today so coldly.
Yeah, honey, that's just his manner, that's all. It doesn't reflect any lack of trust in you.
Oh, really? Then why did he say we should not object to the state's demand for a mental examination? Joe, I didn't even know there was going to be a mental examination. What a way to find out.
All right, in a case like this, it's obvious that we're going to ask for an examination. There's nothing to be frightened of. Well, the only reason they're having it is simply to determine your current state of mind.
Exactly. Look at me. I am so tense and edgy, I'd jump at the slightest thing. Any psychiatrist would be sure to say that I was sick again.
They're going to allow for the fact that you're under a strain.
It's really incredible. A total stranger has that much power over me. And if he says Nikki Smith is back, well, that's it. It's my word against his. And who do you think everybody's going to believe?
It is not likely that they're going to decide against you.
Joe, we have said that so often the past few weeks, and yet somehow something always has managed to happen. Now, what makes you think this time is going to be different?
Joe has told me that at times you're really afraid that Nikki has returned.
Yep, true. I really can't believe that she has, but at the same time, I can't seem to convince myself that she hasn't. Last night, I had a very strange dream. It was about Nikki. It was strange. I found myself in a sort of a hospital room or a cell of some sort. And there was a woman standing there smoking a cigarette. And the more I looked at her, the more I realized it was Nikki. It was Nikki Smith. And I stepped forward toward her. And she didn't seem to notice me, but then... Hey! I've been waiting for you, honey. You want a cigarette? Don't worry. Nobody's looking. You don't have to worry about spoiling your image. I'm not at all what you were expecting, Victoria, am I? See? Everything all those people told you about me was just a pack
like alive. I'm not so bad. And I have more fun than you ever dreamt of in your wildest dreams.
Please, go away and leave me alone. Look, nobody knows you're back. So it can just be our secret, all right? Nikki, please, don't you come near me. I don't want you to come near me or to touch me. You stay far, far away from me, and I won't hurt you. I'll let you breathe, but don't come close.
Sorry, baby, but it don't work that way, and you know it. It's either you or me. And look at you. You're all dried up and worried. You're so worried you should be doing all the things you think you should be doing. You know something, Viki? One of these days you're going to wake up and you're going to say to yourself, was it all worth it? Huh. I got news for you, honey. You are going to be dead an awful long time. And when you're 6 feet under, it's too late to have a good time. So give up, Victoria. Let me come out. You won't be sorry.
I can't give up. Please, don't take my life away from me. I've worked much too hard for it. Nikki, look, you don't know the difference between right and wrong. You never have. That's why you have to stay away.
Right and wrong. Stop putting labels on things. You know something? There ain't a person in this whole world wouldn't like to be free like me. Just have the guts. So loosen it up, Victoria, because I got news for you. It's how you feel right here that counts. And I feel fine. I always have. Because I live and I let live. Me kill somebody. That's crazy talk. The only person I'd like to kill is that woman who wants to destroy me, and that's you, Miss Victoria Lord Riley. I'd like to put this cigarette out right in your face. You think you're better than me, don't ya? Well, you get that idea right out of your head. Because I'm stronger than you, and I'm smarter than you name it. And I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win.
Please.
Please, let me out of here. Keep her away from me. Look, I'll do anything you say, but keep her away from me.
I woke up in a cold sweat. It was hours before I was calm. But look, then I rationalized it. It was a dream. It doesn't mean that Nikki is back.
That's right.
So this afternoon, my behavior will be perfectly rational. And the psychiatrist will judge me completely sane. I am confident of that. Paul, don't look so worried. I'm going to be all right.
I know you will.
I tell you that I am confident that the court psychiatrist will find me sane, and you look worried.
I am in a way.
Why? Because you doubt my sanity?
No, not at all. I know this may be a little hard to fathom, but if you're pronounced sane by a psychiatrist, it could be dangerous for you.
Viki, let me ask you something. What's your impression of what's going to happen this afternoon when you have this meeting with the psychiatrist?
Well, I expect he will observe me and ask me questions, maybe ask me to take a written test or something, and on the basis of that, he'll decide if I'm sane.
You have an idea, then, that the whole thing's just going to be a breeze?
Oh, no. No, particularly not in view of my mental history.
You think he'll dwell on just that?
That's the question, isn't it?
No, that is not the question. The question is whether you are rational or competent or sane enough to stand trial at this time.
But I understand that, Paul. The law says you must be able to comprehend what is happening in a courtroom, and if you are not, if you can't, then you are considered incompetent, and they send you to an institution.
That's right.
But I am rational and I am sane, and the psychiatrist will find me that way. So why is it dangerous for me?
Because within moments of his decree that you are of sound mental health, you, Victoria, not Nikki Smith, but you will go on trial for the murder of Marco Dane. Joe?
Nerves, do they take into consideration that a person is naturally nervous when faced with a situation like this?
I should certainly think so.
Good. I'll try to relax. Hello, sweetheart.
Hello.
I thought you might be here.
Well, why don't we go?
Yeah, let's go.
This is Mrs. Riley, and we have an appointment to see Mr. Callison and Dr. Warner.
Just a minute.
Thank you.
Is he going to ask me?
Oh, deep questions like, do you know what kind of weather it is outside, hot or cold?
Well, in that case, I'll pass with flying colors. It's 99 degrees, hottest day all year.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Dr. Warner, and Mr. Callison will be with you in a minute.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
Well, Captain.
hello.
Ed.
Mr. Martin, I'm glad I caught you before you went in for the test. Well, I just wanted to tell you I'm with you. And somehow or other, this is going to work out.
That's very kind of you. Thank you.
Thanks, Ed. Appreciate that.
Well, we'd appreciate it a lot more if you'd find the real murderer before Viki has to go on trial.
Yeah, well, we're working on it. Believe me, both Benny and I are still working on it.
By the way, thanks for that, too, Ed.
Yeah. Vicky, I know you didn't kill Marco, but this DA here is in such a big hurry.
Well, I don't know. I think he has it in his mind to become governor sometime soon.
And he's going to get to become governor by putting in jail innocent people for murders they didn't commit.
Well, I think he really does believe you did it. But anyway, I just want you to know we're going to get you out of this. For what it's worth, you got my support.
It's worth a lot, thank you.
Why are they keeping us waiting so long?
You say the state's case may rest upon Mrs. Riley's past mental problems. As the court psychiatrist, my only concern is with her present mental state. My job is to determine if she is competent to stand trial, and that is all. Now, shall we stop wasting time and ask Mrs. Riley in?
Mrs. Riley, the doctor will see you now.
You need an attorney. Be sure to get Paul Martin. He's the greatest reassurer around.
Yeah, well, I see where Edwina Lewis has a little zinger about him in the paper today.
Zinger? I didn't see it.
Oh, just something about the Lords owning half of Landview, that they couldn't find a suitable lawyer here in this town, so they had to go all the way to the bustling metropolis of Pine Valley to get you.
There isn't any part of this thing that Edwina Lewis hasn't sniped at or exaggerated. Unbelievable woman. All because I fired her.
I'm wondering if that's all it is, Joe.
Yeah, I've been wondering the same thing, too. She's been raising so much dust lately, it kind of makes you wonder what she's trying to cover up.
Well, anything's possible. As a matter of fact, we did find out that she did avail herself of Marco's services to the tune of about $950.
Breakfast, Mrs. Riley.
I had a corn muffin and a cup of coffee.
Can you tell me who is the President of the United States?
Jimmy Carter.
Repeat these numbers back to me. 537.
537.
Thank you. If you were in a theater and a fire broke out, what would you do?
I would find an exit and get out. I would be very calm. And I wouldn't yell or anything like that, but I would leave.
Mm-hmm. Mrs. Riley, do you understand the charges being brought against you?
Yes, I'm being charged with the murder of Marco Dane.
And do you realize what will happen to you if you are found guilty?
I will go to jail. For God only knows how long. Doctor, please, why are you staring at me?
I'm thinking
About whether or not I'm sane?
about your competence to stand trial.
Oh.
Victoria Lord Riley may be competent to stand trial. But how about Nikki Smith?
What about her?
I'd like to talk to her. Would that be possible? Competent to stand trial? But what about Nikki Smith?
What about her?
I'd like to talk to her. Would that be possible?
No, that would be impossible, Doctor.
Why?
Because there is no Nikki Smith.
Are you quite sure?
I'm positive, and I of all people would know.
But if that's true, why are you here? Why are you being charged with murder?
Why have I been charged with murder?
That's what I asked.
Well, don't ask me, Doctor. Ask Mr. Callison, the district attorney. He preferred the charges.
On the basis of evidence presented to the grand jury. But there's no point in you and I trying the case, is there?
No, indeed there is not.
So, let us proceed. Could you describe Nikki Smith for me, please? As the personality emerged 8 years ago, that is.
No, I can't.
You have no conscious recollection of her?
None whatever.
All right. What were you told about her?
I was told that she was the opposite of me in any way you could name, in dress, in appearance, in manner.
Were her personal habits any different from yours?
Completely different. She smoked. I do not. She drank heavily at times. I drink very little.
Oh, plus which her social behavior became markedly aggressive, am I right?
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
I think you know what I mean. I'm referring to her relationships with men. Also, I understand she was hostile, almost violent at times.
I have never been told that.
Very well. I'll confirm that from my other sources. I understand you underwent psychiatric treatment for your multiple personality problems.
Yes, with Dr. Marcus Polk. I'm sure you've heard of him.
Oh, very good man. Did he ever encounter Nikki Smith?
Yes, he did.
Was she hostile towards him?
Doctor, she was hostile toward anyone whom she considered to be my friend.
I see. Tell me, have you ever noted the similarity of first names?
Of whose first names?
Marcus Polk, Marco Dane.
Do you really think that that's significant?
I find it interesting. I find it to be a rather remarkable coincidence. Oh, but never mind. Let us move on. Did Dr. Polk come to any conclusions as to the origin and cause of your multiple personality problem?
Yes, he believed it was caused by my father.
Could you be more specific?
My father was a very strong man, and he was determined to mold me into the kind of person that he wanted me to be. I was sufficiently under his influence that I could not rebel openly, and so I created Nikki.
And you accepted that diagnosis?
Oh, yes, without question.
Why were you so certain it was correct?
Because when my father finally came to the realization that I had to live my own life, my illness disappeared.
Until now. I say until now.
I heard you the first time.
And you find no necessity to explain?
Explain what?
The reappearance of Nikki Smith at this point in your life.
Doctor, all I know is that there is someone going around who is calling herself Nikki Smith.
And you do not believe that it's you?
No, I do not.
But you stated that you had no conscious awareness of Nikki Smith's existence.
Well, that's right.
Well, then it could be you. I mean, that would be in keeping with past experience.
Doctor, I imagine that we have all at some point in our lives doubted our sanity. Don't you think?
I have never doubted mine.
No, I don't imagine you would have.
That'll be all for now, Mrs. Riley. Thank you very much for your time.
Well, what happens now?
I'll submit my report to the district attorney's office tomorrow, and you'll be hearing from him in due time. Good day.
So well by now. Look at you. Hey, you have to do a little peddling, too, you know. I can't do all the work. Whoa! Crash. Hit the furniture again. Daddy's gonna kill us. Here we... Hey, I told you Daddy'd be home early today. Hello, sweetheart. Mr. Gallison's secretary told me that you had some sort of a thing at the paper. Is everything all right?
No, it's just a little crisis. It's all over now.
Okay.
Sorry I wasn't there when you got out. How'd it go?
Well, why don't you take off your coat and relax, and I'll tell you about it.
Lovely.
Kim is out in the kitchen, darling. She's got your dinner for you. Come on, let's go on out and see her. Go on, pedal then. Here, put your feet on the pedals. You do some little work, too. Come on, let's see if we can make it through here. Oh, tight squeeze, but we made it. How about that? Here we go. Kim! Oh, Kim, can you give Kevin dinner, please? Thank you very much. Bye, darling. See you in a bit. Eat all your food.
Well, how'd it go? What's this Warner guy like?
Dr. Otto Warner is the most supercilious, arrogant man I have ever met in my life. He thinks I'm sick again.
Did you say that?
No, he didn't have to. All his questions were predicated on that assumption. Do you know that he was trying to make a connection between the names Marcus Polk and Marco Dane? That's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard of in my life.
Just as I thought. He is the DA's man.
Oh, yes, is he ever.
Well, don't worry about it, honey. We'll get our own psychiatrist. Will Vernon. We can get Dr. Polk. Becomes necessary. And don't worry about it. We'll flatten this Warner right out. Come on, sweetheart.
I'm sorry. I just keep thinking about Kevin. Because one of these days he's going to see me on the news, or a photographer will flash a bulb off in his face. He's aware of the tension already.
Sweetheart, when this is over, he won't even remember. He's too young.
Now, I wish that were true. If Tina's afraid of me, can you imagine how Kevin's going to feel when he's old enough to understand?
He won't know.
Oh, yes, he will. Oh, yes, he will. Even if this whole thing blows over, even if I'm cleared, someday someone is going to tell him what happened to his mother, or he'll read it in a paper, and he will always wonder if his mother is really all right.
Now, if that question arises, I will answer the question for him. I'll tell him many years ago, his mother was ill. Once she recovered from that illness, has been sick a day since, and will never be sick again.
Joe, I'm afraid. I'm afraid.